Welcome to the ABQ Show. I'm your host, Wally Drangmeister. This is a show where we talk with the people that are making Albuquerque a great place to live. And we have a guest in the studio today, Lisa Adkins. She's with Fat Pipe, New Mexico. Lisa,
Hi,
welcome
Wally.
to the ABQ Show.
Thank you for having me.
Well, I came across Lisa in various entrepreneurial activities, but Lisa, first of all, tell us about Fat Pipe, New Mexico, and at some point, if you'd explain what is a fat pipe. I understand there's maybe some controversy about exactly what the name means relative to your guys' business.
Well, so Fat Pipe New Mexico is a group of co-working spaces. We started with Fat Pipe ABQ in downtown Albuquerque on Broadway. And then we've also expanded to Rio Rancho in the AMRET building. And we have a little tiny space in a community center in Raton. So we're co-working, but more than co-working, we're a community. So we're here joined together in support of small business, freelancers, remote workers. It's a friendly place to work and be. And if you're a member of one, you're a member of all of our locations. So it's really cool and convenient.
Yeah, so you kind of alluded to it. Co-working is basically where you have a place to go that's your office, but you share it with other people. Is that right?
Yeah, so basically we rent by the seat.
Yes.
And you come in, you pick a seat. We have great internet, so they have all utilities paid, everything that they need to run a business.
Right.
Great internet, it's all inclusive of a single price. They get a key fob that gets them in 24/7, so they can work when they want and need to. And then we're here to help them move along.
Well, I know your Fat Pipe ABQ location is in a very historic, wonderful building. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, we're in the Albuquerque High Lofts. It's a beautiful campus, obviously the old Albuquerque High School.
Right.
We took over the library, so our building is standalone, and if you come into our building, you'll see the original stacks along the sides of the buildings, or the sides of the walls. So people decorate the original bookshelves
Right.
with stuff related to their business or awards they've won. We have some beautiful art on display. So it's a really unique and beautiful space to come and join the community.
Well, I know one of the events that you host on a weekly basis, and I go many times, is the 1 Million Cups event, where normally I've been in Fat Pipe ABQ during non-1 Million Cups, and it's a very quiet, yet not so quiet to drive you crazy, conducive working environment. But tell us about what happens when 1 Million Cups comes to town on Wednesday mornings.
That's pretty cool. So we open up the center. It's open to the community for free. Anybody can come. We get anywhere from, I'd say 50, sometimes up to 100 people, depending on who the speakers are. And the concept is it's you get your community together in support of small business, and a presenter gets 6 to 10 minutes to talk about their business. And we want to hear about their journey. We want to know what they do, how they do it, how they make money, but we also want to know something that they're struggling with. And then the audience spends about 20 minutes asking questions, providing feedback, making connections, and giving you ideas that maybe you never thought of to help grow and make your business better. The networking is amazing, free coffee and donuts. People come early and they stay late. It's a really great place to be on Wednesday mornings.
Well, and I know that if you're curious about a co-working space, I know that you can make an appointment or come see it basically anytime. Yeah. But I know that's a fantastic, if you're to come in the morning on Wednesday morning, that's a great time to get to see the space, but also get to see, as you alluded to, somewhat of the community aspects of your co-working space.
Yeah, it's a great time to come and view Fat Pipe for sure.
Now, talk to me about the industry of co-working. You know, it's one of those things that every now and then it seems like New Mexico gets a little behind the curve on things. I'd say we're at or above the curve on co-working, what's going on in our downtown region, and just a little bit about the industry as it exists in New Mexico, but also anything you know about it nationwide.
Well, so co-working is very popular nationwide. I would say in Albuquerque specifically, and probably all of New Mexico, we're still lacking the density to make it a very successful business model. Mm-hmm. The cool thing about our founder, Stuart Rose, is he's not a real estate person. He's not in it to make money off renting seats to people. Right. It's more about economic development for us. And if you look at our financials, I could prove to you that it's not a money-making endeavor. It's a, you know, he's an angel investor. It's an opportunity for him to get the first insight to some unique and fun businesses. So he has opportunities outside of making money as a real estate person. So, you know, WeWork is the biggest probably co-working center in the nation, and they're bleeding money, but they're more about real estate. And we're more about community. So programming, workshops, helping people move along.
Yeah, so in addition to 1 million cups, what are some of the things that would be available to people that might be associated with Fat Pipe?
So we try to have at least 1 or 2 workshops a month that can teach a small business how to do something. It might be legal, human resources is popular, marketing, social media, that's popular. In Rio Rancho, we actually rent an office to the SBDC, and so they teach all of their small business programming as well at Fat Pipe Rio Rancho. So there's lots of opportunities and different kinds of classes that you can take to learn how to start and grow a business.
Now, I know there's a lot of reasons why somebody would like to be in a co-working space. I know what, and I've considered it before, I've never quite made it, but it's one of those, the loneliness of the home office is one of them. Elaborate a little on that, and what are some of the other reasons that you think people gravitate to this space and the value they see from working in a place like Fat Pipe?
That's funny you say that, because Stuart likes to do research on loneliness as an epidemic in the U.S. And when you work at home, you're very isolated. Actually, before I met Stu, I worked at home and ran my own consulting business for about 3 years. My puppy was always on my lap. The TV was on in the background. My laundry was done, but I didn't realize how much business opportunity I was missing by not getting myself out there.
Right.
And so it's an opportunity for you to grow your business because there are people around who you can network with. And what I see happening at Fat Pipe is people start working together. Sometimes they barter and they trade services, and other times they come together and compete on large projects that they wouldn't be able to do alone. So that's really one of the most beneficial pieces to being in a space like Fat Pipe.
Well, you talked a little bit about getting out there, and you know, I do know that once you're out and about, it's amazing what good things happen, particularly if you're a small business, solopreneur. What type of facilities do you have? I know you have in the upstairs, the open kind of the very hip, very nice space, but there's something in the basement. Is that you as well? And I should know the answer to that. Talk a little bit about that space as well.
Fat Pipe ABQ is actually 2 floors.
Right.
So the basement, you think, oh no, it's a basement, it's dark and dingy, but it's really beautiful. That we have those big, tall windows that bring a lot of natural light into the basement. And so there's additional seating down there. There's quite a few. There's 2 big clients in the downstairs. One is, I think they're both about 7 people actually. Right. And then there's additional seats. And what happens on Wednesdays, if one of my tenants actually needs to work and doesn't want to participate in the networking happening upstairs, they'll pop downstairs and work for a little while until the crowd dissipates.
Yeah. So it's a very collegial environment where people support each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, what does it cost to work in a co-working space like Fat Pipe, and what are your various plans?
I love this question, Wally, because sometimes I get feedback on social media that we're too expensive.
Right.
And that simply means that the person has not had a conversation with me, because I'm willing to work with anyone.
Okay.
And I'll find a way to make it work, whether it's a seat sponsorship or maybe just a couple days a week. Our standard rate is $300 a month for a full-time bench seat.
Right.
And that gets you 24/7 access and our amazing internet and access to the community. But you can come 2 times a week for $150 a month. And we also have daily and weekly rates if you don't want to become a member. So there's lots of options.
Well, I know a lot of people there, and I knew a lot before I started going there, just met other places. But, you know, just going to the 1 Million Cups and some of the tenants there, visiting with them over time, I've developed some good relationships. And while I haven't done a trade out yet, I actually feel like that's expanded my network tremendously. It's a pretty cool thing. And good coffee and donuts, it's a hard deal to beat in Albuquerque.
Right.
So.
Totally.
Yeah. All right, tell us if people want to learn more, what's the best way to learn more about Fat Pipe? And I know you have Fat Pipe New Mexico. What's the website they should go to?
So yeah, we've kind of rebranded the name as Fat Pipe NM, and our website is accessible at fatpipenm.com.
Right.
And at that website, you'll see the 3 locations. So you'll see information about the 3 locations. The pricing is the same, and all the pricing information is out there. We also have a great event calendar that they can view. And if they sign up for our newsletter, they actually get invitations to all of our workshops and community support.
All right. Very good. Well, that is almost it for the first segment. We're visiting with Lisa Adkins of Fat Pipe New Mexico, Fat Pipe ABQ. When we come back on the ABQ show, we will further our discussion and talk with Lisa a little bit more about the entrepreneurial environment in Albuquerque and some of the things that are happening there. Stay tuned.
The New Mexico High School Coaches Association, established in 1941, is an organization of New Mexico's best and most professional interscholastic coaches. Coaches across work daily to help our student athletes excel in the classroom, on the field of play, and in our communities. Students that participate in interscholastic activities attain higher grades, higher graduation rates, and higher wages. Responsible for the North-South All-Star Games, statewide Coaches Award Program, and providing multiple professional development opportunities for New Mexico's coaches. Be a great coach by coaching beyond the game.
What is glamour? Frailty. What is desire? Diamonds. They say a life lived without passion is hardly worth living.
Ma'am? Ma'am? Ma'am?
Dang, this one made me feel all special.
Dreamstyle Remodeling has been wowing homeowners in New Mexico since 1989. Selected as Best Custom Home Remodeler for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Albuquerque Journal, we're also your exclusive provider for top home improvement brands like Renewal by Anderson, Four Seasons, Blaze King, and many others. Founded and headquartered in Albuquerque, Dreamstyle Remodeling is family-owned and now employs more than 500 people across the southwestern U.S. In fact, we've helped more than 60,000 homeowners improve their home in New Mexico, Arizona, California, Idaho, and West Texas. We're committed to providing a superior customer experience. We've earned 4.6 stars with hundreds of online reviews and have an A+ with the BBB. Dreamstyle Remodeling is a proud supporter of UNM Athletics. Visit our beautiful 10,000 square foot showroom at 1460 Renaissance Boulevard across from Sam's Club, or dreamstyleremodeling.com to make your home remodeling dreams come true.
Motto Mortgage Brokers works hard to give you more options. Hear why Emilio Vallejo's local brokerage is the perfect fit for this growing family. Call Emilio Vallejo's 505-506-9820.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Welcome back to the ABQ Show. I'm Wally Drangmeister, the host, and we're visiting with Lisa Adkins of Fat Pipe, New Mexico. Lisa, you're right there on the cutting edge of what's happening in small business, entrepreneurial business, new business by the fact that you do have a co-working space, and most startup companies tend to not start up in huge office buildings with a lot of space. How long has Fat Pipe ABQ been open, and what are some of the trends you've seen since the beginning?
So Fat Pipe ABQ has been open since July of 2014.
Okay.
We were the first co-working space in Albuquerque. I'm definitely seeing, the hard part is getting people to the co-working space. A lot of people don't see the value in paying rent when they can get free internet at a coffee shop. The difference is that there's no one at the coffee shop making connections for you.
Right.
So my job is the connector. Stu's job is the connector and the mentor. All of our staff, we're here to help you make connections, to help you grow your business. So if I can get you in the door and even get you seated for a couple times a week, then I can help you start working on your business model and finding those customers that you need. And a lot of times I'll have people come. I have one particular lady, I love telling this story. She came in because her basement flooded, and she said, I'll give you 2 weeks, and I don't want to sign a lease, and I'm not going to stay. And I said, that's fine.
Right.
You're welcome. It's 2 years later, and she's still there.
Well, that's
because
fantastic.
she sees the value. And she's actually a remote worker. So she works for a large company out of state, but she just loves being around other people and getting away from the things at home that keep her from doing her job.
Yeah, there are a lot of negative distractions with the home office. So, you talked a little bit about it. What the founders, Stu, tell us about him, and again, just elaborate a little bit about the mission of Fat Pipe relative to what he does as an investor and an angel investor and other things in that community.
Stu is one of, I always tell people this, he's one of the few people who has put his money where his mouth is. He really believes that private sector needs to lead, and that's why he started these centers. He has an opportunity to find interesting companies that he could invest in. That does happen more at the Bioscience Center in the biotech industry. That's our sister center. But it happens occasionally at Fat Pipe. That's how he met AdWallet, which actually got its first few days in co-working. They started at Fat Pipe. So what was the rest of the question?
Oh, yeah, just, how does that work? And then, what are the opportunities for, others to be involved that...
Yeah, Stu's model, and the reason that he wants to take Fat Pipe statewide is because he wants to see smaller communities have the opportunity. We also believe that if we're getting companies in Santa Fe and companies in other parts of the state, working with companies in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho, we're going to see expansion of collaboration. Potentially they'll be able to find talent. And they can start finding customers in other communities rather than their own. So that's one of his biggest reasons for expanding statewide. He really wants to see better economic development, more resources for those small businesses, and the ability for them to collaborate.
Now, I love a product called Zoom for teleconferencing, the video aspect, but you have to have somebody to talk with on that, and those relationships are a little harder. Do you use any technologies like that now that you have multiple locations around the state, and what's the status? How does that working out?
We use Slack.
Yes.
So Slack is cool.
Yeah.
I've heard it dubbed as the email system for millennials.
Right.
Most of our clients actually aren't millennials. They happen to be closer to my age. So lots of active seniors and retirees getting back into the workforce and starting businesses. Lots of consultants who are older than what I would consider a millennial. But Slack is a fun tool because we've actually brought together Rio Rancho and Albuquerque under the same Slack channel. And we have celebrations, we have, we put up jokes, we have potlucks, we go to lunch together, we post needs and questions.
Right.
And it's a really great place to get to know people.
Well, I'm very inactive on Slack. For those that don't know, just talk a little bit about what that tool is and how you use it.
It's basically a messaging tool.
Right.
And at Fat Pipe, it's more of a social kind of thing. I actually use it in my own software company to communicate with our employees and keep track of our projects. So it's actually a great tool for teams to keep track of different projects and clients and things that are happening.
Well, it's odd, isn't it, the whole entrepreneurial thing, particularly with consultants and others or solopreneurs. It's like you love the independence, but you don't need the isolation. And it strikes me that that's one of the main advantages of working with somebody like you. So.
Yeah, I think people misunderstand how much it actually costs to have a facility where you have to manage your own utilities and pay for your internet and then call the landlord when things break. So having a place that you can go to that has all of the features that you would need as a small business, but not having to deal with all of that is really a great way to go.
Well, and then I know there's conference room facilities, so even if you're out in the open area and you need to have some private meetings, does that come with the service as well?
All of our tenants get to use the meeting space as part of their membership, so there's no additional fee. Occasionally, we do rent out those rooms to non-members.
Right.
So we have 2 really beautiful rooms in Fat Pipe Rio Rancho and 1 in Albuquerque. And then our tenants are also allowed to use the Bioscience Center's rooms, and we have 2 beautiful spaces up there as well. So there's plenty of private meeting space for members, and there's no additional fee for that.
Right.
Great place for them to meet with their clients and have team meetings.
Yeah, well, and you may or may not know this, one of the companies I'm involved with has a mailbox at the Bioscience Center and works with a couple others. So, I did not realize that if you're a member of one, that brings in the Bioscience Center. Yeah, and while we're on the topic, just tell people what that is, because that's not as well known as I think it ought to be. And so tell people about the Bioscience Center and where that is.
Sure. Stu started the Bioscience Center in 2012. He hired me just a couple days before he bought the building. And so I helped him set it up. And I was a part-time employee at the time because I had businesses to run and he couldn't afford me full-time. But so it is a beautiful business incubator for startups in biotech and life sciences. We've actually expanded a little bit. We have a solar company there. We have a couple of software companies there. And it's located at 5901 Indian School, so in the corner of Indian School and Haynes near the Coronado Center, a little bit south. And it's a beautiful campus as well. We've got a nice secure gate that locks, and people can come and go 24/7. And it has wet lab space. So we have 10 chemistry, biology labs, and lots of great technology happening at the Bioscience Center.
Yeah, well, I see some cool things happening. I've done some marketing work, some also a little bit of accounting work for some of the companies there, mixing potions, as it were, things together. And like you say, wet lab space, you can make things happen.
Yeah, cancer research is happening there. It's a great place to be.
All right, so it is Indian School and San Pedro, which
actually it's Indian School in Haynes,
which is close
to
San
Pedro.
Yeah. No, there isn't a San Pedro exit, so if you can come from the mall at San Pedro, also get off at San Mateo?
I get off at San Mateo. So if you're east on San Mateo, take a right on San Mateo and a left on Indian School, and it kind of curves up. It looks like you're in a neighborhood, and then all of a sudden you come upon this huge Bioscience Center.
And it's a very, it's a very different vibe than the Fat Pipe, but they're both very nice facilities. And if you're doing anything to do with medicine, biology, and need wet lab space, but also in a very cool environment for meeting, I can highly recommend it. It's a very cool space. So now, to the extent you can, you mentioned a little bit AdWallet. What are some of the other, give me an example of some of the other businesses that are surprising to you that are associated with your network, but that are doing well. I know there's every kind of business that seems to be going on.
Nothing surprises me, but another one that I'm very proud of is Teen Years. So Trish Lopez actually started Teen Years at a startup weekend that was held at Fat Pipe ABQ 2.5 years ago. And look at where she is today. So Teen Years is tech-savvy teens teaching seniors how to use their technology, their phones and Facebook and computers. And she has older people coming to Fat Pipe all the time to meet with teens, and I've even sent my own mom over there, like, don't bug me. You go talk to Trish and her team. They'll fix your phone.
Well, I do a lot of websites, I do a lot of technology, and I believe that I am a teen year as well, but I do need to maybe have a little support in terms of the broad network of people I do. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Give me another example of something that people be very interested in.
We have an energy company called Mountain Vector. He started as a single consultant, and now I think he's got 6 employees.
Right.
And he hides in the basement, and he could probably, with a staff of 6 or 7, you could probably find less expensive space, but he stays at Fat Pipe because he loves the network, and his people love the network. So they've got a good portion of the downstairs, and that's where he prefers to be, and we're so happy that he stayed with us.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot going on in the corner near Central and Broadway, just close to where Fat Pipe is. What are some of the other things that are in that area? Because that really is becoming a hub of entrepreneurial activity.
Well, of course, Innovate ABQ is right across the street at the 7-acre site at Broadway and Central.
Right.
And we do a lot of work with the people in the Rainforest Building is what they call it.
Right.
I'm a member of the City Alive team, and I run what's called the Tech Navigator program. So we navigate tech and tech-enabled companies to kind of navigate the resources that are available for them to start and grow their business. And we team with all of the laboratories and educational institutions that house at the Rainforest Building. So C3, which is the arm at Sandia that does their licensing, and Air Force Research Lab is there, and UNM, STC.UNM is there. And so, you know, we have meetings once a month related to TechNav where we all get together to talk about the entrepreneurs that we're all trying to navigate and help them find the resources they need to license technology and grow businesses out of the labs in the universities.
Well, and you know, you said it earlier, but the proof is just in what you've discussed. If you're a client, if you're someone that's working at Fat Pipe ABQ, you really do have access to a big network, and you'll be a big resource in that regard.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So let's show a few pictures, if we could, just to give people an example. Just tell us what we're looking at here.
That's 1 million cups. So that's our Wednesday morning. I think the next picture is also 1 million cups. So we pull all the chairs, they're all on wheels, into the kind of the center of the room, and people stand along the bookcases. Our presenter stands at the front. And they're just great events. I mean, the energy every Wednesday morning is fantastic at Fat Pipe.
Yeah, so tell us again, Wednesday morning, what time?
9 a.m.
Okay, 9 a.m.
Get there early, because that's the only day parking's a challenge. This is our beautiful big conference room in Fat Pipe Rio Rancho. So we have dual screen TVs that you can actually connect together. So if you have to fill up the room, you can show your presentation on both screens simultaneously.
Okay,
So this was a workshop. This is just a view of Fat Pipe Rio Rancho and the beautiful furniture that we get from Workspace Dynamics. They help us brand. And Decker Parrish does all of the branding and the design work.
Okay.
So this is Fat Pipe Rio Rancho.
All right.
Fat Pipe Rio Rancho.
Okay,
A little bit smaller, but
that's good looking space.
yeah, it's
very
beautiful.
Nice. Yeah.
It's really beautiful.
All right.
This is Fat Pipe ABQ, the back area. Sometimes I'll be honest, we do get together and watch sports on the big screen TV. Soccer's very popular. I think this was a group watching a soccer game. Maybe working. I'll tell you, they were probably working. I'm sure they were working.
Well, by the way, that back space, it's kind of conference room setup, but open. That's my favorite
nice.
space there. It's a good, I have had many stand-up meetings
This is
there
my
as well.
team with Ingenuity Software Labs. So just John and Noel working at John's desk. So he sits at a bench seat just like everybody else. And yeah, they're working hard. You can tell.
All right, very good. So we have locations now, Albuquerque, Rio Rancho, Raton, and I was, to be honest, so impressed that you put something in Raton. I know, you know, when you talk about scale, but to have a resource there to assist that community, that's fantastic that that's available there.
Thank you.
So, yeah.
We'd love to be in Santa Fe too, trying to find a good partner.
All right. So tell us again, what's the best way to figure out whether co-working space is for you, and how should people get a hold of you?
Well, my email address is lisa@fatpipenm.com, and they're welcome to visit the website. It might answer most of their questions, and if they have more, they can email me. Our website is fatpipenm.com.
All right, fatpipenm.com. Before we go, what would you say to somebody that's out there thinking about this entrepreneurial journey? Should I do it? Should I not? You've worked with a lot of people. You've seen some great successes. You've seen some abysmal failures. What's some advice that you would give to somebody if they're saying, "What should I do this or shouldn't I?"
Well, they should definitely do it. And if they're going to do it, they should do it at a place like Fat Pipe, because there's so many people that they can learn from. And yeah, successes or failures, it doesn't matter. We want you there. We'll help you.
All right. Well, that is it for this segment. We've been visiting with Lisa Adkins of Fat Pipe, New Mexico. Be sure to check it out. And also, 1 Million Cups, Wednesday morning, 9 a.m. If I can break away from my other duties, I need to get back there in the next couple weeks.
I saw you, yeah. A couple days ago, you were there.
Well, I was for a meeting, though. I was there right after. So, Lisa, thank you so much. We
Thanks for
really
having me.
appreciate you visiting with us, and good luck. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.